Hello there guys, welcome to one of my live videos. So just want to give you some shocking news that currently happened yesterday. Woodward's £2 million mansion in Cheshire was under attack. It was yesterday night. I think it's around 20 Manchester United fans or something like that have actually thrown a smoke bomb. Also, launched fireworks at his current mansion, and also to spray paint his intercom and his gate. So I think, from my own perception, this is disgraceful. Obviously, all United fans do want Ed Woodward out. Not only Ed Woodward, also to the Glazers, because the Glazers have been generating quite a lot of money out of this club for at least a decade now. But yeah, so this is what has happened. No one has been harmed. Ed Woodward was not in at the time of the incident. The police are investigating this, but anyone found guilty will be banned for life. So this is what's currently happened yesterday and that. So maybe further more information will update on this. But you can understand the frustration from many Manchester United fans. Obviously the way that the club has been run in general in the last 6 or 7 years. So that's the latest news regarding that. Now, obviously, we've got Wolves this weekend in the Premier League at Old Trafford. I think in that game, our fans are going to be walking out in like the 58th minute. The main explanations why this is because with the remembrance of the Munich air disaster in 1958, and also too, because obviously the vast majority of United fans are not happy with what's going on basically. But like I said, we need to see a variety of changes at the football club anyway. We've got to get the Glazers out, we've got to get Ed Woodward out. I still believe that we need a change of management. We've also got to get our current board out, because our board have been a liability for several years and that. So I don't think, even with how bad we've been, I don't think, there's no excuse, to go and attack somebody's home. So yeah. So if more things does update about it, I will notify you guys about that. Obviously, we've had some good news regarding Bruno Fernandes, as you all know. He is set to be signing for Manchester United sometime today. He has flown out to Manchester now with his agent as Bruno Fernandes. It did get confirmed yesterday by Fabrizio Romano, who's an Italian journalist. He said that Man United had put an official bid into Sporting Lisbon, and he said, talks were still ongoing, and also Bruno Fernandes' agent had confirmed this. So when he arrives in Manchester today, he's going to undergo his medical. Man United are going to pay around €55 million up front. There is around 25 million in add-ons, so it does rise in total to around 80 million euros. So 80 million euros equates to around 68 million in pound sterling. The add-ons are based on basically how many appearances he makes, and obviously Man United qualifying for the Champions League. Well, that's some of the add-ons. I think he's going to be signing a 5-year contract with Manchester United, is Bruno Fernandes. So he will be under contract with the club until 2025. But Sky Sports did confirm yesterday, which is a very reliable source. They said, that Man United had increased their offer twice for Bruno Fernandes, because obviously, our first bid had been turned down for the player. But yeah, so obviously, as you all know, Barcelona came in right at the final hurdle to try and hijack our move for Bruno Fernandes, because it did say that Barcelona, were in talks with Sporting Lisbon. That was according to a lot of reports from the Spanish press. He said that Barcelona proposed to sign Bruno Fernandes until 2025. Well, they wanted to sign him in the summer, but get him a contract until 2025. But they wanted to loan him out to Valencia until the end of the season. So obviously, they could get a deal over the line for Rodrigo. So I think with Barcelona coming in the final hurdle, it's convinced us to meet Sporting Lisbon's valuation, because Sporting Lisbon have been ruthless over their valuation. They basically said, look, they want £68 million. At the first, Man United were not determined to meet that, basically. But, I'm happy we're going to get this deal over the line. I think we should have got this deal over the line a long time ago. I think, we should have signed him last summer, because we was relentlessly, linked to him last summer. But the main explanation why we didn't get Bruno Fernandes last summer is because, we was not willing to meet Sporting Lisbon's valuation. Sporting Lisbon said last summer, they wanted around 70 million. Man United only valued him at 50 million. Spurs went in for him last summer. Liverpool went in for him, so too did Man City. We should have signed him, before the Liverpool game, because there was reports saying he should have been in the stands for the Liverpool game spectating. If we'd have had him for the game against Burnley, you could say, we would have beat Burnley as well. But, I think Bruno Fernandes, like I said, he's going to be a great addition to the squad, like I mentioned on my video this morning. Bruno Fernandes is a player that can provide goals. He can also, provide assists. He can create chances. And he will be a fantastic addition to the squad. And we are seeing him as an adequate replacement for Paul Pogba. But Bruno Fernandes, as revealed, he's always wanted to play in the Premier League. But I think overall, anyway, his preference is a move to Manchester United. But, it looked dead in the water, yesterday afternoon and a couple of days ago. It was looking realistic that Bruno Fernandes was not going to be coming to Manchester United. Obviously, even though he hasn't played in the Premier League as yet, and this is going to be his first time experiencing the Premier League, I think he's got all the minerals to come and succeed in the Premier League. So I think in the Premier League he can replicate, what he's done in his couple of years in Portugal with Sporting Lisbon. For Sporting Lisbon, he managed 64 goals in 137 appearances in all competitions. That is very impressive. He's played around 19 times for Portugal. And I think in all competitions last season, Bruno Fernandes managed around 32 goals. And he did extend his contract last year with Sporting Lisbon until 2023. Sporting Lisbon are going to make a huge profit on the player. Because obviously analysed his performances in a couple of years, his valuation has persistently grown, but Sporting Lisbon got him from next to nothing from Sampdoria. They only paid around £7 million, or was it just over £7 million for the player? But we've been in for him for the entirety of this January transfer window. We've been locked in negotiations for quite some time. Obviously, the negotiations stalled a couple of times because obviously, over the fee basically, because at the first we were struggling to come to an agreement on a fee. I don't think the personal terms have been agreed as yet, but, he'd be a very, very good signing for us. So he is our first signing this year, Bruno Fernandes. He's our fourth signing overall under the Ole Gunnar Solskjaer era. So Solskjaer's recruited 4 players in now in 3 transfer windows, but we still know that more than Bruno Fernandes is needed. Obviously, earlier on in the window, there was a chance of a swap deal happening because Sporting Lisbon said that they wanted Marcus Rojo as part of the deal. There was also talks of Andres Pereira going as part of the deal, but, they wanted Rojo. And Solskjaer gave us an update regarding Marcus Rojo, and he actually, said that Rojo will not be leaving Manchester United as yet. He's working on his fitness because he's been injured as Marcus Rojo. But he's a player, where we got from Sporting Lisbon. But I'm really excited about Bruno Fernandes coming in. It's going to be interesting to see what shirt he wears. Is he going to wear the number 7? We've had quite a few players that have worn that number 7 over the years. A prime example, Ronaldo, Memphis Depay. Michael Owen once wore the number 7 and that. Is he going to wear the number 10? I think at Sporting Lisbon he was wearing that number 8 shirt. But, Bruno Fernandes, can, play in Lingard, Pereira's and Juan Mata's position in that. So I think that's probably where Manchester United should put Bruno Fernandes, but he's definitely going to add more creativeness in our midfield. So yeah, so he will be having his medical, when he does arrive in Manchester, and it should be officially announced today. The Manchester City game has come too soon. He won't be making his debut tonight. I think he will be making his debut in the game against Wolves at the weekend and that. But hopefully he can succeed at Manchester United and that. But we've been linked with a host of players. And, Bruno Fernandes is, a good signing. But obviously, we know that we need more than Bruno Fernandes. So we'll be orchestrating on making more signings this summer. Because I think Bruno Fernandes is only the signing we're going to make in this January transfer window. So let's see who we can try and get in the summer. Obviously, I think, we'll consider, more departures in the summer as well, because definitely, more players need to leave Manchester United. I think we need to get rid of around 6 or 7 more players this year, from my own perception and that. And obviously, some players that we do sell in the summer, will generate money that way. So that's very, very good. But I'll just revert back to what I said about Bruno Fernandes. We should have just paid what Sporting Lisbon were demanding in the first place. Then, it wouldn't have took us nearly till deadline day to get this deal over the line. But I think Bruno Fernandes is excited about, coming in. But, I am very, very delighted with this signing. I am very, very delighted with this current signing. But I think, we also need another midfielder. I think we need a holding midfielder. I think we also need a striker now, because obviously, Rashford is currently injured. He's sustained a double fracture in his back as Marcus Rashford, and I think Marcus Rashford is going to be out for at least the next couple of months. So, obviously, I think we need to try and get someone in on loan until the end of the season, basically. Because where the goal's going to come from, because, Rashford's been one of our best players this season before he got injured. I think Solskjaer shouldn't have played Rashford against Wolves. If he hadn't played Rashford against Wolves, then I think probably, he wouldn't have sustained this injury. But Solskjaer revealed that this injury now Rashford's got is totally comparison, to the one that he had earlier on in the season. But Rashford, so far to this point, has spent the entirety of his career with Manchester United, and he has been a United player since the age of 7, and he's been in the senior squad since 2016. But he's definitely the long-term solution for Man United, and he's one of the players I'd be determined to keep. There's a few players in our squad, I would be, definitely determined to keep. There has been a few strikers on our agenda. Man United could still get Islam Slimani on loan before the transfer window does shut. Obviously, Man United and Tottenham have been in talks to get Islam Slimani. Islam Slimani did say that he does want Monaco to end his loan spell. This is what, he did say. But, I'd love us to get Islam Slimani in, because I've heard that he can score goals in that. He's currently on loan with Monaco at the moment. Obviously, before he was at Monaco, he had loan spells with Newcastle and Fenerbahce. And before that, he was at Sporting Lisbon. Leicester. Well, he is a Leicester. But Monaco got him on loan from Leicester. Leicester paid around £29 million for him from Sporting Lisbon back in 2016, was it? At that time, it was Leicester's record signing. Islam Slimani is 31 years of age. So more news will update on him and that. So like I said, we've been linked with a host of players. But even despite the fact that we've been inconsistent in the last 6 or 7 years, I still believe, we've got the resources and the backing of the club, to get the right calibre players to Manchester United that can elevate us forward and get us back up there, being a competitive elite level football club, and get us back up there challenging for major honours, basically. But I still feel as though that, in the next couple of seasons, our aspirations will be that top 4. I don't see us mounting any kind of title challenge, at least for the next couple of years, because we haven't won the league since 2013, and the last time won the league was 7 years. Yeah, it's 7 years ago, 2013. So last time won it came in Alex Ferguson's last season, basically. Also, I just want to confirm as well, Tottenham have signed Bergwijn from PSV. I think that's Tottenham's second signing in this January transfer window. They also got Gedson Fernandes on loan from Benfica. I think they got him on an 18-month loan, but then I think they do have the option to make the deal permanent after the loan. So Tottenham have recommended 2 players in. I think also to Arsenal Football Club have signed Pablo Mari from Flamengo. I updated you about him the other day when I did my Bournemouth Arsenal preview for the Cup. Obviously, he was at the other week. Well, recently he was spotted at the airport with obviously Edu. Edu, has been, he's been working very, very well on, Pablo Mari's transfer to Arsenal. Obviously, I think it did say Arsenal will get him on loan. It said at the first until the end of the season. I haven't really read into it lately in that, but I think, Arsenal are going to get him. I know he's a former Man City player. He endured 3 years at Man City, but he never got a chance at Man City. I don't think he made one appearance in that 3 years at Man City. He's also had a few loan spells. So Arsenal have now got a player on the current board. So that's to update you on that. That's to update you on that and that. But, as you all know, Man United have had quite a lot of injuries this season, but that's not been excusable for how inconsistent we've been. Obviously, some players are now coming back from injury, which is very, very good news. Obviously, we know that Eric Bay is now back. I'm surprised he didn't play in the game against Tranmere, because Bay was out since pre-season with a knee injury. And obviously, recently he's been playing for the under-23s. But I do believe at some point he'll get his opportunities. Fosu-Mensah's now back. Solskjaer sees him as a right-back because he played as a right-back at Holland at the age of 19. Obviously, we know that Luke Shaw's just recently come back. I think we've got an element of concerns about Luke Shaw with the record of his injuries. Plus, that, he's initially lost his place in the team now because we view Brandon Williams as our first choice left-back. And Pogba and McTominay still out. Solskjaer did provide us with some news regarding Paul Pogba, and he did say that Paul Pogba is desperate to play. He's still out of injury at the moment. I can't estimate a date now when he's going to return because I think it's not uncertain the exact date when he's going to return, but he has had his ankle cast removed. Paul Pogba has only made 8 appearances this season because for the vast majority of this season, he has been injured. I'm still very convinced that Pogba will leave the club in the summer though, but Bruno Fernandes is the adequate replacement for Pogba anywhere. So I think we can, in the summer, generate a substantial amount for Paul Pogba. I think we can get a good 90 to 100 million pounds for him because he's still got around 13-14 months left on his contract. The club do have the option to extend his contract by a further year, but I don't see that happening. I don't know where he'll go. Will he reunite with Juventus because he enjoyed 4 years in Juventus? The vast majority of his performances at Man United have been totally comparison to his ones at Juventus. Or would he go to Real Madrid? Because last summer, Real Madrid were relentlessly linked with Paul Pogba. I still feel as though he's got the same perception as last summer that he wants to leave the football club, basically. But when, Pogba and McTominay return, that will be even more beneficial because, Pogba's very creative. We've got Bruno Fernandes in now. He's very creative. And I think Pogba, McTominay and Bruno Fernandes will all blend in very, very well together in our current midfield. I'd keep McTominay because I think before he got injured, he did really, really well for Man United. So I would be determined to keep him. He's still not at that level as yet, though. You've got Fred there. He's getting game time now because he never really got the opportunities under Mourinho. But I think recently he's rejuvenated himself. And still not at that level as yet, but I think he can work himself to that level where I want Fred to be. So I would be determined to keep him. And, so Tuanzebe, I think, still out with injury, but I think he's close to returning. So we've had a lot of injuries this season. But revert back to what I said, more players need to depart. I've already told you the players I think need to go. I think Rojo needs to go. I don't think he'll leave this year. I think Matic needs to go. I think I was reading recent reports and it did say, he was in talks of extending his contract because Matic's current contract does expire at the end of the season. Matic has made over 100 appearances for Man United. I think around 101 or 102 appearances since his arrival from Chelsea back in 2017. He's now into his 3rd season at the football club, but you do know that I've got element of concerns about Nemanja Matic. So if we are to sell him, we need to try and sell him before deadline day, to generate any money, but I don't see that happening. If we get him a new contract, then he's obviously staying at Manchester United and that. But I just don't think he complements our midfield. I've got the same perception on Pereira. I don't think he's good enough. Lingard. Still a lot of United fans would be determined to give him time. My perception on him is too inconsistent. And like I said, he's been at United for the entirety of his career up until this point, hasn't he? He's been here for several years. And he should be putting much more better performances out. He did well against Tranmere, but now can he keep that consistency up? And that is the question because Lingard last season didn't score 1 goal or register 1 single assist. So he needs to, get to where he wants to be. Lingard. Chong, I don't think he's at that level as yet, so I think it would be beneficial this year if Man United could loan him out. I think it did actually say he's set to go on a free transfer at the end of the season. Juventus and Inter Milan are in for him. And all of that. So there's more players that do need to depart the football club, definitely. Because I know we got rid of a lot of our players last summer, so I credit Solskjaer in that aspect. Last summer he did get rid of a lot of the deadwood. There's a lot of aspects of me that credit Solskjaer, or a few. He's got trustworthy in his young players. the young players have been given their chances this season, but Solskjaer confirmed at the start of this season that the young players would get given their opportunities. I think Mason Greenwood, he needs to get more starts in the Premier League, because I think he's not getting enough starts in the Premier League. His comparison in the cup games, because like in the cup games, he's getting more opportunities, is Mason Greenwood, to be fair. He's getting more opportunities in that, and he's on 10 senior goals now for the football club in 20-odd first-team appearances. And as he develops more, he'll emulate to Rashford's level. I think he'll end up, overtaking Marcus Rashford, but Greenwood will succeed at Manchester United. I think also too, Williams is going to do really, really well for us. James Garner's played a few times this season, I think, in the games he's played, and he's done well. So, yeah, I'd definitely keep him. But there is a lot of young players in the squad that are developing and trying to improve, and, Solskjaer did confirm that he still wants to continue the policy of recruiting young players in, like he did do last summer. And obviously, with Bruno Fernandes incoming, he fits Man United's transfer strategy perfectly anywhere, because, like I said, he's only at the age of 25. He's only at the age of 25, is Bruno Fernandes in that. But yeah, definitely no more signings are needed at the football club without a shadow of a doubt. Obviously, big massive game for Manchester United tonight against Manchester City at the Etihad in the Carabao Cup semi-final second leg. Now, Solskjaer says, Man United have got to put a perfect performance out tonight if we're to get anything from Manchester City. So we've got to basically, replicate a performance what we did against PSG last season. So Solskjaer says we need a memory bank, basically, because last season against PSG, we overcome a 2-goal deficit and won 3-1 in the second leg. So we need that kind of performance, so if we've got any chances of getting anything from City. We are 3-1 down from the first leg. Obviously, the goals came from Bernardo Silva and Riyad Mahrez in a Pereira own goal. I think also Silva got an assist in that game. But, Solskjaer admitted, City totally dominated the first leg, especially in the first half, because there was 3-0 up at half-time, so there was out of sight. But anything can happen in the Cup. Aston Villa, of course, did beat Leicester yesterday night, so they're into the final now. So congratulations to Aston Villa and Dean Smith. If we can get past Manchester City, then it will be a Man United-Aston Villa final. So it will be the same final as it was back in 2010 or 11, if I'm right. I think it was then. We did play Aston Villa and we did beat them by 2-1. But of course, City have got advantage. So we've got to win 3-0 tonight at the Etihad, because I'm pretty sure that away goals do count in the Carabao Cup and that. And, Solskjaer will make some changes from the 6-0 win against Tranmere. I think he'll make a couple of changes, obviously. I think the team that's gone to the Etihad is more or less the same team that, travelled to Tranmere in the Cup. I think it's more or less the same team in that, as Solskjaer has confirmed. But like I said, that was a very, very good result against Tranmere. That was our biggest away win, since 1999 against Nottingham Forest, when we won 8-1. Also, it was the first time we scored 6 goals since the Alex Ferguson era. I did expect us to beat Tranmere, but I just didn't expect us to win by 6-0, basically. Tranmere, poor team. They're sitting in League One, I think the 21st. But Solskjaer took no risks, risks. He went with a lot of first-team players, so he didn't take many risks in that. But it was good reaction, because, we obviously, have lost our last 2 Premier League games, losing Liverpool 2-0, losing at home to Burnley 2-0 for the first time in 62 years. So we needed to see a response, and we got a response against Tranmere, but now we've got to try and keep this consistency up in the Premier League as well, especially, and we've got to go on a good winning run, basically. Because if we hadn't got out of Tranmere, there may have been a slight chance Solskjaer would have been sacked. I don't think it would have happened, but, that result against Tranmere doesn't change anything. He's still under pressure at the football club, he's Solskjaer, and he's under pressure coming in this game tonight against City, and it's going to be interesting to see how Solskjaer approaches this game against Man City in that. City themselves have also got some injuries, they've got, I think, they've had Cancelo that sustained a knock, Riyad Mahrez sustained a knock. They've got, they've had Laporte out before for quite a while. I think, is he back now? I don't know what's going on with Laporte, I'm not too sure. John Stones has been out. Benjamin Mendes being out, he sustained quite a few injuries as a Manchester City player. So, be interested to see how he approaches this game, Solskjaer. This is the third Manchester derby this season. Don't forget, we've done well against elite opposition this season. We haven't really replicated that against lowered opposition, so that's an element of concern without a shadow of a doubt. But this is, Solskjaer's overcome Pep Guardiola once this season because we beat them 2-1 at the Etihad Stadium. Solskjaer tonight, what?
We'll get a wash and then we'll go canvassing.
Alright.
If I can get some, we'll try Bell Lane and that, and some at Westovers. Probably some bastard will be up there, but we can try for now, can't we?
Yeah.
If I can get some, we'll go do them in the morning.
Alright.
I'll get ready now and then we'll go up.
Sorry about that. And yes, I think he should go with the back three tonight. And there's about 2/3 of Man United fans saying he should stick with the back three. I think we should persist with the back three because we haven't really used that formation a lot this season. And it does seem to suit our standards. So in the games we have gone with a three at the back, in the vast majority of our games this season, Solskjaer has gone with the 4-2-3-1 formation and that. But I think tonight Bissaka will be starting. James may be involved in the game. So he will make a couple of changes. I think Williams will start. I think Greenwood needs to start because he tends to start in the Carabao Cup. Probably De Gea will be back in goal because Romero tends to play in the FA Cup games. But, City haven't performed to the standards as we expected from them this season. They haven't been the team as we all thought they would have been, because City are still one of the best teams in England. They're the second best team now in England because, of course, Liverpool are now the best team in England. City, since we beat City, I think they have actually rejuvenated themselves, to be fair, of Manchester City in that. And, they won back-to-back titles. This season, they were looking to win their third title on the trot. They won the domestic treble last season, did Man City. They got 100 points a couple of years ago. I think Liverpool are now, going to break that record because I think they're going to get more than 100 points this season. So, City is still a very, very good team. You can say they've also bought success, Man City. Because obviously, City have spent a lot of money on that team. Guardiola's spent, more than half of the £1 billion he spent in all his managerial career on that Manchester City team, basically, in that. But, it's always tasty fair, the Manchester derby, big game of the weekend against Wolves. Then Chelsea's after that on the 17th of February, is it? Or the 18th of February. So that's going to be a very, very tough game for Man United in that. But also on this channel coming up, I'm going to give you a preview for the Chelsea-Leicester game. That will be coming up tomorrow. And also, we'll be keeping you up to date of what's going on regarding the transfers and that. But like I said, reverting to Solskjaer, we won't sack him now. We're determined to give him at least a couple more transfer windows. This is now his third transfer window as Manchester United manager. He says, we're not going to buy players for the sake of it. But, we are still willing to currently back him in that, And obviously, if we decided to sack him any time within this 2.5 year period, we'd have to pay something to get rid of him. But I just don't see Man United doing that. And, of course, Solskjaer won't resign because, obviously, he wouldn't get a payoff if he resigned and that. But, he's got 2.5 years left on his current deal and that. And I don't think he's the right man for Man United. He's too inexperienced. Got the same perception on Carrick and Kieran McKenna. So, there's a lot of fundamental issues at the club, not just with the backroom staff and the manager. There's also problems on the pitch. So, we need to see a lot of change at the club. But reverting back to what I said earlier on in the video at the beginning regarding Ed Woodward, he deserves the criticism he's getting, don't get me wrong, but I think it just went a bit too far, a group of our fans, going to his £2 million mansion in Cheshire and, launching fireworks and a smoke bomb at it and then spraying red paint, on the intercom and the gate and everything else. But all I want to say is no one's been hurt in the incident because Ed Woodward wasn't in at the time, but the police are investigating this. But if anyone is found guilty, they will be barred for life by the club. So the club have basically come out with a statement about this and that. So anyway, guys, drop your comments, likes below on the channel. If you do, consider subscribe. As always, take care, God bless, see you all again very, very soon.